Hi everybody, so welcome back to my channel. This video is also a similar video to the previous one in the sense of it's a concept that if you're a little bit older, you've probably already grasped onto, and if you're on the younger side, it's probably still something you're learning. So yeah, this is once again going to be a relatively quick video, and it's just about rounding numbers. And we went over the place values in our last video, so that should be pretty simple. And this whole concept, honestly, is pretty simple in general. So this is going to be another one of those really quick videos. So the number one thing to remember with rounding is if the number is less than 5, you're going to round down. If the number is greater than 5, you're going to round up. And now this is going to make a lot more sense in the examples that I'm going to show you. So I'm just going to get right into it. Example 1. Let's say it's a 56.734. And the question says, round to the nearest hundredths place. Now, if you remember from the previous value, which was our place value video, the hundredths place is right here. So it wants you to round to a number that is it wants you to basically shorten the number to just these 4 digits and cut out this last digit. And how do you do that? Well, as you see, you do it based off of this last number. So, since this number is less than 5, you're going to round down. That means you're going to keep the answer as 56.73. But, now let me show you another example. If the number was 56.736 and it wanted you to round to the nearest hundredth, since this number is greater than 5, you would round up, meaning your answer would be 56.74. So basically, to summarize this, if the last number, all right, the number that you're basically getting rid of to round to the next place value, if that number is less than 5, you're going to round down. And round down does not mean you lessen the number, but you just basically drop that last number and whatever is left is your answer. But if the number is greater than 5, then you drop that last number, but then the number next to it increases by 1. All right? So I'm going to give you one more example. And I do actually want to say something before I give you guys that example. This is greater than or equal to. I'll make this last example here. If the number was 56.735, your answer would be, you drop this number and your answer is a 56.74 because it's greater than or equal to 5. Yeah, because 5 is equal to 5. So just to make that clear. I'll give you guys 1 or 2 more examples. So example 4 can be round 2, 3, 4 to the nearest hundreds place. Now there's no decimal, so our hundreds place is just this number. And since our last number here is less than a 5, your answer is going to be 230. Now you may be asking, oh, this is different. I didn't just drop the number and leave the answer as a 23. That's because the difference is before a decimal's place. If you drop this last number, you're going to be changing the value altogether. This will no longer be a 3-digit number, but a 2-digit number. And we need to make sure that the number is still the same amount of digits, which is why you add a 0 at the end. But the thing is, with decimals, the reason we just leave it like this and don't add a 0 over here is because zeros after the decimal place don't have any real value. So this number and this number have the same meaning, if that makes sense. So I'll give you guys one last example. We're going to say round 8.063 to the nearest whole number. So a whole number basically means that there are no decimal values. So they basically want you to get rid of all of the decimal values. And since this value right here is less than a 5, you're just going to drop it all together and your answer is going to be 8. So I hope that made sense to you guys. It is a pretty basic concept, but it can take some grasping. So the general rules are, remember this, all right? Remember that because that applies to everything. And then remember that if the value is that you're rounding to is after, meaning on the right-hand side of the decimal, you don't need to add any zeros, or the amount of numbers does not matter. But if you're doing something like this where there's no decimal and you drop a number like we did here, you have to add a 0 at the end to keep the amount of numbers the same. See how there's 3 numbers and 3 numbers? You have to keep that the same. So yeah, those are just the general rules. I hope this video made sense. Make sure to keep practicing, and it's a really easy concept to grasp. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!